Okay, so in this video now, what I want to do is to answer the question number 3. Using Excel console histogram, add a trend line showing the pattern of the histogram. So here's what we're gonna do. We're going to go to our data set. Here we have the data, and I'm gonna construct a histogram. So what I'm gonna do is to select these two cells, and I will right click. No, I can go. Okay, so what I want to do is to go, I select those two cells, right? And I go to insert, and to insert I'll go to I can see different blocks. This block here, and I'm in a block about the charts. I see the one with the column, so I press this one, and I see 2D columns, 3D columns, cylinders, cones, pyramid, etc. So I go here to 2D columns, and the different types of 2D columns, I want these types. Okay, so it will generate a sort of histogram. So let me scroll it down. I can select, I can press this and then bring it down here. Alright, now let me change the type of graph that I have. If I go here, and yeah, let me go to the different types. There is this type over here, this type. There is a title in the top, there is a label on the horizontal axis, vertical axis, and the legend. So that's what I want. I press this one, and it gives me a new version. I can see axis title, and frequency. So I can change the name here and write histogram. Alright, so to change, you come here, you double click 1, 2, okay, and then you can edit, you can change, you can write whatever you want. Similarly, I can also change the value, the numbers here. I can double click and change the name of this axis to salaries. Okay, enter. Oops, sorry about that. Control Z. Alright, here I go to type frequencies. Okay, when I finish, I can click in the empty space like this. Now I want to remove those lines because they are annoying. So I have these lines, and I can press the backspace of my keyboard. Okay, in my keyboard I have a key called backspace. I press that, it will remove it. Okay, so like I was saying, your keyboard has a key called backspace. So you press it, like you select the arrows that were there, and then you press backspace, and when you press that, it will remove the arrows. It will remove, and you obtain something clean like this. So what I want to do, if you remember the definition of a histogram, the definition of the histogram, we say that histogram is a graph consisting of bars of equal width drawn adjacent to each other without gaps. So there shouldn't be gaps in between. So like the gaps, we shouldn't have gaps in between. Okay, so like if you're going back to the exercises, that to the problems that we had, we notice that there is this gap in between. Okay, so we're gonna remove the gaps. So this is what I do. I come here, and I double click on the bar, okay, and it will select all of the bars like this, and then I right click on one of the bar, and I go to format data series. I click that. So here you have series option. Under series options, you have series overlap, talking about those bars overlapping. No, gap width. Okay, so the gap between the bars. So this is like, if I want a large gap, I move this over here, it will create a large gap. If I don't want any gaps, I move it on that side, but that will make so as you can see here, it's actually, you can see it here, like if I'm moving, you can see that it is moving, like this is changing also. So what I want is no gap, so I'll push this one to the no gap side. Now what I want also is to feel like I want to make sure that we can distinguish between the bars. So I go here, fill to border color. I want to create like a color of the borders between the bars. So I want solid lines for that. The color of those lines, I want like a dark color. Okay, so transparency, we don't need to make it transparent. So it's transparent already. So the width, like how thick those bars, like those borders are. So I'm just gonna put 1 inch, one, yeah, one, not inch, but yeah, 1 point. And then I think that's all I need, huh? And I close, and as we can see, I have my bars of my histograms. I can see that there is like a border in black. Okay, and now the next one, they ask us to, the next question is the following. They say add a trend line showing the pattern of the histogram. Okay, so in other words, we want like a line that shows like the general pattern of our histogram. So I click again here, double click, and I right click, and I go to add trend lines. So in adding trend lines, so I can add different sort of trend line, like so for this one, like if I tell, like what I'm gonna do, I go here. So if my function, the frequency is linear to the salaries, normally the function that will best fit this histogram will be a linear function. But typically here in this particular case, the relationship between the salaries and the frequencies kind of follow an exponential, okay, an exponential function. Normally it's an exponential function, but we haven't seen what kind of exponential function. But what I'm going to do is to use a polynomial of power 6, and that polynomial of power 6 will be closer to an exponential function instead. Okay, and that will draw the shape of our that will kind of give us a shape of our histogram. Now I want to customize this line. I want a solid line. I want the line also to be thicker. So let me change the color of the line. I can change the color of the line. I can put a purple one. Okay, let me make it thicker. The width, let me put it at 1.5, so that it is real thick, even 2. Yes, really thick. Yeah, and that's it. So here's my histogram, and here's the line that shows the trend of our histogram. All right, so here the values here, like, yeah, I think that's it. That's pretty much it. Now I think we have another question. Let me address this question. 4. So we already answered question 3. What can you say about the distribution of your data? Justify your answer. So in the notes we have, like in the chapter about histograms, we talk about how do we like interpret those kind of things. So if you read your notes relative to that, you understand what kind of distribution of and all of that. Okay, so yeah, so coming back here to the notes, so what can you say about the distribution of the data? The distribution of this data is blank because of blank. In order to answer this question, just read lecture 7 and 8 on the frequency distribution and histograms. Okay, so if you read those, you'll be able to know. But coming back to this histogram, what I've noticed was some students didn't even know how to actually copy those histograms into a Word document. So that's not complicated. You select this one. Okay, you select it by clicking on it. You right click and you press copy, and then you go to your Word document. Come to your Word document, you come here, you right click and you press paste. That's it, and it's copied. Okay, so it's like you can, it's like question 3, this is like question 3, question 3, yeah, question 2, and here it comes like question 3. In your report, that's what you write, question 3, and like you can select, you can resize so that it will fit in one page. Okay, I resized and it fitted on one page. Alright, that's it. I think that's pretty much what you have to do in order to perform well in this extra credit assignment. So I wish you the best of luck, and yeah, I'll see you in class. Here's the word greater. I need to fix that one. Greater, yeah. Oh, and one last thing. So what you need to submit are two things: an Excel spreadsheet, like just like this one, where I can see your calculation out, because I need to come here and check to see if those numbers are in here, where you got those numbers. If you use those formulas, I need to see that, and need to see this histogram. Okay, so I need to see this one, this sheet, and I also need to see I also need to see the report. So that means a document just like this one. This is like your report for your report. You write your name and then you answer all of these questions. So the first question was, using Excel, calculate the class width. That's what you do. 2, construct a frequency distribution table. That's what you've done. 3, using Excel, blah blah blah. That's what you've done. 4, what's the distribution, etc. So that's what I need to see. You submit this one in class. Okay, so I use this one in, like when I'm going to grade, I will use this one to grade, and at the same time I'm going to go back to your Excel spreadsheet to see if it makes sense, to see if there is some contradiction between what you're sent as a report in class and what you are actually submitting on Excel. Okay, all right.